Yeah, welcome back, y'all. A little quick rant. I'm hearing all this talk about the whole thing about Dallas. Y'all, everybody know how I am with Dallas. That's my team and whatnot. But I think one of the things that's more irritating with them, and I've said this for a while. First and foremost, let's put this stuff in perspective. I've said this. I was telling somebody this today. The first 8 weeks of the season, I'm just happy football's back on. Okay? And when we get to the second eight, that's when you are who you are, or that's pretty much who you're going to be for the rest of the season. And you're playing for positions. You're playing to get those division titles and whatnot. And to get those titles and to get that playoff positions to make that Super Bowl run. Now, Dallas has lost two straight. And one of the things I keep hearing that is ridiculous, I see it I understand it in college, overstand it in college. Hell, I even overstand it in high school. In pro, no. Who did y'all play? Y'all played the Giants. Y'all played the Redskins. Y'all played the Dolphins. This is not like we're paying Appalachian State to play Dallas. This is all three of those teams are professional NFL teams. All three of those teams, franchise has won Super Bowls. It's four with the Giants. It's two with the Miami Dolphins, and I think 4 or 5. Three with the Washington Redskins. Okay, so that's not playing no D2 school or some historical black college or some little small little rinky-dink college like they do in college. If you play Alabama playing Appalachian State or Alabama playing some historical black college or whatever the case may be. So a lot of y'all need to cut that out. That's just hating from fans about whatever. They're a professional team that play professional other professional teams. That's one of the teams out of the 32 teams in the NFL. So let's kill that noise. I don't want to hear that weak schedule stuff because it doesn't exist. That stuff exists in high school and it exists in college. It does not exist in pro football. And the funny thing about it is that you never, ever, even back when the 49ers, when they was basically over there, I think there was the NFC West, I believe, or whatever they were in and whatnot. Like, come on. They ruled that division. They ruled it. You know what I'm saying? But nobody giving them. The Rams wasn't doing too much. Atlanta wasn't doing too much. And whoever else was up in there. I can't even hardly remember. Right? But right now, like, come on. But it's funny. But nobody says that about New England. Nobody says anything about New England. And that ridiculousness, Buffalo hasn't been anything since Jim Kelly left. Miami hasn't been anything since Marino left. The Jets hasn't been anything since goddamn Joe Namath. So it's automatic 6 wins. At the 6 wins, no less than 5-1 that they're going to go. When they play there, it's 2, 4, 6. That's 6 wins with the 3 teams there automatic. Okay, they might lose one to the Jets, so they might lose one to the Dolphins every now, but it's either one or the other. They only lose about one division game in that conference. They win another 2 or 3 games, they've already clinched their division. Everybody knows that, but nobody bitches and says anything about that weak division that they've been in for over 20-some odd, been in that division forever. Right, especially since the 20-some years since Belichick and Brady's been over there. Nobody said anything about that. So I don't want to hear anything about Dallas and their weak schedule. There's no such thing as a weak schedule, in my opinion. No such thing. You're in the NFL. This is not FBS or Division 2, Division 3, HBCU. It's none of that crap. This is an NFL team. But the Tampa Bay, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Miami, New York, all them teams are that of NFL professional football teams. So let's stop that mess. Dallas problem, getting into that right now. Dallas problem. Dallas team is built for a Super Bowl run. Dallas team needs an attitude adjustment. First and foremost, and I said this a little bit last year, after that absolute stunning performance that their defense had against New Orleans last year, Dallas defense has not been the same since then. Just go look. I'm not going to even go look up the stats because you can just do whatever needs to be done. I've already talked about that. They have been getting gashed by the run since they started. Since after that game, for the rest of the season, and starting up for the first 3 or 4 games of the season now. Okay, so they let a nobody basically gash them in Green Bay. Their defense is not getting after it. Those linebackers, you can see the holes there that trucks that you could have an 18-wheeler go through that was so big. So Dallas problem, because everybody wants to try to throw that on Dak because it's a contract year. I'm like, no. This is the remedy to all that. And this is for the Cowboy fans up out there, who's Cowboy fans up out there and whatnot. This is the remedy. You see that 90s team that Dallas had? The team is similar. Zeke is similar. His yards is right there. Zeke missed 6 games. I already brought this up. His numbers are identical. They had the best line in football then. They had the best line in football now. It's an attitude adjustment. Don't try to put all that shit over on Dak. One of the 2 of them interceptions was not his fault, but he's still playing good ball. Percentage, he's completing the ball. The thing of it is, Dak is not a guy who needs to be throwing the ball 35, 40 times a game. That's what I'm saying. Troy Aikman didn't do that, and Troy Aikman was capable of being a prolific passer in the league. But guess what? He wanted those rings. That's the thing. Jason Garrett got to get through his head. It goes through that of Zeke. You have to run him. He was running the ball good against Green Bay. They went in the hole fast, and they started having all these dumb penalties, and they kept shooting themselves in the foot until it was too late to come back. They made a valiant run for it, but they shouldn't have that shouldn't have never happened. And it's not, and doesn't help when your defense is getting gashed. You notice that Aaron Rodgers didn't have to do a whole bunch of throwing here and there. They're just handing the ball off to that dude. That's supposed to have been what Zeke was supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? Put the blame where it needs to go. They need an attitude adjustment. And their defense needed. I ain't seen nothing DeMarcus Lawrence done yet. All that talk, all that money. Like I said, be Charles Haley. All right? Do that. Be Charles, worrying about Madden rankings. Be Charles Haley. I ain't seen nothing he's done yet. I haven't seen nothing. I haven't seen anything he's done yet. Not nothing worth talking about. Not nothing big time pass rushes and big time players the best of their position do. I ain't seen no. Put it this way. I ain't seen no Khalil Mackness. Put it that way. All right, just keep that real. Keep that 100. Linebackers getting blown about. Smith, Vanden Esch is not doing what he's supposed. Is not doing how he was playing last year. I ain't seeing that right now. Again, still early. It's still early, but this is what I'm talking about. An attitude needs to be adjusted. They need to play with attitude. They got everything they need. They got more weapons on offense than that 90s team did. Way more weapons, especially at the wide receiver positions. And they throw the ball more, but they don't have to throw the ball. It goes through Zeke. Feed Zeke and get and like I said, all of that starts up front. You got the best line in football, one of the best lines in football. It needs to start, an attitude needs to show on both sides of the ball. Because right now, you're getting handled. They're getting handled. But they was moving the ball against Green Bay. And my thing of it is, you have to have an attitude adjustment. And that attitude adjustment they need to get nasty and start blowing people off the damn ball. And start making big plays on defense. Because I don't see no hitting. I don't see no big plays. I don't see any of that going on right now. And they just running up there in Dallas. The Dallas is just getting ran up on like it's nothing. And that team back in the 90s, them jokers, they played ball. They played defense and they played side. So all Dak needs to do is throw the ball maybe 20 times a game. Give him 25 times a game. The rest of the time, the ball needs to go to Zeke. Point blank. Needs to go to Zeke. They need to feed Zeke. They have to feed Zeke and play. In other words, stop being pass happy. Run the ball. That's your success. Your template is those 90s team because your team is almost identical to them as far as talent is concerned. Use that, Garrett. Do something. Jones should be able to see that. Anybody should be able to see that. If that's what if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you got everything you need. You don't have to have a 5,000-yard passer. That's not the way that ball club was built, and that's not the way this ball club needs to be built. He's not going to get the prolific numbers to get that money. I understand people, the money. No. It's about his record. It's about his record, which is why it brings me to going but what Troy Aikman said when the guy said, well, Pat Mahomes almost 30-some%. He already got 30-some% of Troy Aikman's touchdowns, and he's only played 2 years in the league and whatnot. And then Aikman said, "Will come back when he's like 33%. When he's 33% of the 3 rings that I got." It's about them rings, partner. All that other stuff don't mean anything. It's at the end of the day, it's about if you can get all that stuff fine and win, that's a cherry on top. It's about them wins, man. Dak needs to turn around, hand that ball off. That line needs to block, and that defense needs to get off his ass and start playing some ball and start punching people up in the mouth. That's what they need to do. But a lot of these teams need to do is sit at the feet of Bill Belichick and sit up there and say how they do business. Instead of Dallas being in the news 6 years straight, somebody being suspended from drugs or behavior or PEDs or whatever the case may be, every year, 6 years straight, Dallas have done that. They're always in the news for the wrong freaking things. Be in the news for just not saying nothing and just going out there and play ball. You don't even hear that from New England. And that's why they in the hunt year in and year out, because they ain't about that BS. All right, so Dallas, y'all need to get y'all act together. Start feeding Zeke the way it's supposed to be done. Hey, man, like I tell y'all punch that like button, subscribe to the channel, got some comments, leave them down there and whatnot. Like the channel, share it with some people and whatnot. And like I tell you guys all the time, there is no GOAT, there is no greatest of all time as long as time's still going on. And like I always tell y'all, numbers don't lie and get emotional. People do.